Have you ever wondered what the largest man-made disaster was in Idaho history? It occurred on June 5th of 1976. This disaster was the collapse of the Teton Dam.
Hey, in case you haven't heard, we want to share about the Teton Dam disaster and how it affected the people of Rexburg. Why was the Teton Dam built?
Why?
It was believed by some that the dam would provide flood control and water storage for agriculture and recreation purposes.
Some fishermen believed that the dam would be bad for the fishing industry. Others believed that it would be good for fishing and imagined themselves boating on the reservoir.
Land prices would have gone up with the building of the dam because of the greater availability of water for farming and recreation.
Some also believed that the Teton Dam could create hydroelectric power. In the end, the dam collapse destroyed all these dreams.
Why did the dam break?
Nearly 50 years after the dam collapse, the answer as to the cause of the failure are still not completely clear.
Some think the dam began to break with the cracking of the dam's impervious core due to internal erosion. The grout curtain was also inadequate in preventing erosion along the edges of the dam.
But like most disasters, the cause had multiple factors.
On Thursday, June 3rd, 1976, workers noticed two small leaks coming from the dam, but believed it was insignificant, as it was considered to be typical in most earthen-filled dams during the initial filling.
At 10 a.m., another seepage area was found with faster running water, and they began alerting everyone of the danger that was soon to follow.
A surge of water burst out of the face of the dam.
Imagine that a wall of fast-moving water was coming towards your home. What would you do?
Hello, Mallory and Charlie. I'm Lawrence Benson, and I lived in Rexburg when the dam broke.
Hi, we have some questions for you.
Ask away.
How old were you when the disaster happened?
I was about 20 years old.
Where were you when the dam broke?
I was at my house in Rexburg. My older brother George came over and told me the dam was going to break. Our home was not in the floodplain, so we had to help prepare George's house for flood.
What did you do to prepare for the flood?
Well, we didn't think it was going to be as big as it was. We ran around putting rugs and other things that were on the floor onto the couch and tables. In the end of this effort paid off. It all got ruined.
Anything else you want to share?
So many lives were affected that day. I feel lucky that my parents' home was not destroyed.
Well, thank you for coming. Bye.
With such a big disaster, you might be wondering how much it cost. Overall, it cost about $40 million to build the dam. Some people think the dam was a waste of money, but was it? To quote Roger Olson, a retired geologist from Rexburg, Idaho, lots of people said this was a huge disaster, but we learned so much from this failure. It probably saved thousands of people's lives in the long run. The lessons learned from the dam failure were applied to earth-filled dams worldwide.
The huge waves of 80 billion gallons of water cost about $2 billion in damages, which is about $10 billion today, not to mention the 11 lives along with 13,000 cattle.
That must have traumatized a lot of people.
Thousands of people's lives were changed that day. Many people came from as far away as New York just to help clean up and support the community. Almost 50 years later, you can still see the scars of the Teton Dam collapse in Rexburg, Idaho, and up and down the Snake River Plain.
Natural disasters leave an imprint on our homes and our hearts. The people who were in Rexburg, Idaho in June of 1976 will never forget. We'd like to thank Ms. Barton for helping us make this podcast.
And Roger Olson for providing us with lots of information and loads of support.
And a huge thank you to Lawrence Benson for letting us interview him.
We'd like to challenge you to learn more about the history of the Teton River and its people. And thank you for listening to our podcast.